following is a presentation of the Retro Network.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Retro Resurgence podcast. You are listening to episode 27 of the show, and we're happy that you found your way back to us to take another trip down the winding road of nostalgic memories. If you're looking for some haunted Halloween nostalgia tonight, you've come to the right place because this is our Halloween trick-or-treat grab bag episode. As always, I am one half of the team here at the Retro Resurgence, your co-host Ken, and on the other end, my co-host, my podcast partner, you could call him the crypt keeper of the Retro Resurgence podcast, Chad. Happy Halloween, man. What's going on?
Happy Halloween, Ken. Corny, but yeah, man, we're a good intro there, buddy. The Crypt Keeper, I like it.
The Crypt Keeper.
I'm doing well, man. Excited to do this episode. You know, every episode's fun to record here, but with the grab bag episodes, man, you just reach in the bag, see what you pull out, and to the fans that have listened to us in the past, we've done this format. What was it, once or twice before?
I know we did a Christmas show, and then we kind of did a light Halloween episode where we went through some movies, but not an actual official Halloween episode like this one's going to be.
Yeah, and I think in the spring we did also a grab bag. It wasn't related to any holiday, but it was kind of just the assortment of nostalgic topics. But yeah, this one's going to have the Halloween theme edition of our grab bag episode. I love doing this format. It's just kind of a random assortment of things, just like you would find in any Halloween bucket, you know?
Right, man.
Random assortment. Some good, some maybe not so good, but we hope that the Retro Resurgence brings you just the good stuff, you know?
Yeah, I think what we've got lined up for this episode, I think everything's going to be good and probably no razor blades in any of our candy tonight.
Yeah, no boxes of raisins or apples, anything, you know, dumb like that. We're going to give you the good stuff.
Right, we definitely will. And before we get into the show, let's read some feedback from last episode. As you recall, episode 26 was our retro snacks that we miss, which was a fun episode to do, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, man, that episode had me longing for those snacks that we brought up. What kind of feedback did we garner?
Yeah, so we got a couple pieces of feedback. Our first piece is from our friend Jim over there at the Busy Signal podcast, and he just said, "Love retro snacks!" exclamation point with a little cookie. And then we had another piece of feedback from someone new. This is called the Real Life Perspective Show. So thank you for reaching out to us. And they just said, "I miss Tato skins." And that was one of my picks for snacks.
Say no more.
Right, exactly. And then, of course, we had our loyal listener, Gerospace, reach out, as he always does. And he says, "My retro snack list would include those little wax pop bottles, which would lead to my chewing on the wax after drinking the liquid out of them." He says, "Also, my mom made sure us kids always had Lowry's jerky sticks in a can for every road trip. We also drink lots of Shasta Pop." I'm not sure if anybody remembers these three items or if they were regional to us here in North Dakota. Did you guys have any of these? Well, thanks, Gerospace. I do remember the wax bottles. Do you?
Yeah, you would chew them and get every little bit of liquid out of them, and then after they were completely dried out, you had to throw those things out, man. It was just like you can never chew them enough to
Yeah.
really do anything other than just spit them back out.
Yeah, and Lowry's jerky sticks. Man, I'm not sure if we had those up here in Wisconsin. We may have. I really don't remember eating a lot of jerky though as a kid.
Yeah, that was other than Slim Jim, which is kind of the seems to be the one that people remember the most about jerky, but that yeah,
Right.
it'd be a regional thing, I would think.
Yeah, and then Shasta pop soda. I think we had that up here. I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure we did, and I'm pretty sure that I drank some of it at one time or another.
Yeah, I remember seeing it, but I don't think I ever gravitated towards Shasta.
Yeah, me neither. So yeah, that was our feedback for the episode. And what else? Do we got any housekeeping to do from the last couple episodes that you can think of before we get into the Halloween show?
No, I think we're ready to roll right into our grab bag, reach in the bag, see what we pull out. Ken, you this year you were in charge of our grab bag episode, and you've got quite a bit of topics here that are going to be fun to dissect and dig into. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we've got six different topics that we're gonna get into tonight. So yeah, what do you say we start off the Halloween show, Chad?
Let's do it.
All right, Chad. So we're gonna kick off our first segment of the Halloween grab bag episode. And yet, like you said, this I kind of threw together the show with the different topics. And our first topic tonight is going to be our quick little Mount Rushmores of Ben Cooper Halloween costumes. Now, these costumes have been around for really a long time. I don't think they make them anymore, but I think if I read correctly, they started out maybe in the 1930s or 40s, and I kind of think they hit their peak probably in the 60s, 70s, and 80s with I want to say they stopped making the costumes around the late 80s or maybe early 90s. Do you remember these costumes?
So, growing up, I do not. My first costume that I remember growing up as a kid, me and my sister were dressed up as Superman and Supergirl. But
Okay.
as many people would get to know with Ben Cooper, you had a lot of vinyl and plastic
Yeah.
costumes. And I remember the Superman, Supergirl, those were basically like cloth for us. So, those were definitely not Ben Cooper. And
Right.
I'm kind of sad that I missed the era of Ben Cooper because everything that I did, for this podcast, researching, I've always known that the Ben Cooper nostalgia goes real strong with people of a certain age. How about you, Ken? What's your thoughts? What are your memories of the Ben Cooper? Did you ever wear one? Did you ever own one?
Yeah, for sure. I think I can remember three times that I wore a Ben Cooper costume for Halloween, and those costumes were, I know in 1979 when I was 5, I was Darth Vader, and then the following year I want to say I was either Snoopy or Woodstock from Peanuts. And then I think maybe a year or two after that I was Sylvester the Cat from Looney Tunes.
Nice.
But yeah, man, I mean, you look at these things now, and yeah, of course, they're pretty generic. You just had the plastic outer costume and then just the flimsy plastic mask with all the licenses that they had and the detail that they threw into the masks. These things were pretty cool.
Yeah, they were. I want to give a shout out as I was looking up, researching the topic here for Ben Cooper. There is quite a bit of history documented about Ben Cooper, but there's also a lot because it spans so early. Like you said, this was something that was around sometime in the 30s, the 40s, way before, a lot of that stuff could be lost on time. It
Right.
wasn't really until the 60s and the 70s is when you see a lot of the documentation on the internet. I want to give a shout out to a website that I thought was pretty cool, very well organized. It's vacface.com, VAC face.com. It says the art and design of Ben Cooper boxes. Now, this whoever runs this website or put together this website has a very nice looking website. It looks like he kind of stopped doing something in about 2023, but he
Okay.
spent a lot of time scouring the internet, looking at old magazines, old newspaper advertisements and stuff, and he has assembled a collection of 111 the box designs. Some of these he saw from old pictures, and then he actually reproduced the box in a like a more modern look. But he's got boxes from the 1950s all the way to the 1980s.
Yeah.
If you haven't checked this site out, it's pretty cool. Again, you're not going to see the costumes on this website.
Right.
Those will be coming from other websites, but he's documented the boxes, and there were, like you said, 111 different boxes, and I'm
Yeah.
sure there were some costumes that were in the same box. So you mentioned the licensing. I feel like the thing that Ben Cooper had going for that company was the licensing and the ability to produce likenesses of the characters. I mean,
Yeah.
that's huge. And I don't know what kind of, I really didn't read what was really the downfall of Ben Cooper. I mean, because honestly, I could see this working in today's world. I mean, I think the material, we
Yeah.
laugh about it, people with those masks on that couldn't breathe, and the vinyl suit, suits that people would just drape over the kids and stuff. That stuff was, I guess, what they had that was cheap to assemble and cheap to manufacture at the time. But, as innovation happened, I'm sure Ben Cooper could have evolved with the times.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure why they didn't.
There is a really good documentary. I want to say it's on Prime about the Ben Cooper company. And I think it came out a couple of years ago. I think I watched it last year. If you want to go over to Prime and just, search Ben Cooper, it should pop up somewhere. And it was really good. And I can't remember why they said they stopped, but I do know that it was a good documentary though on the company.
Yeah, I think people like your age, Ken, and older have definitely a more of fondness than maybe, say, somebody like me who was born in the 80s.
Yeah.
I was in the tail end of the Ben Cooper era. I also want to give a shout out to NECA, who over the last several years has brought back the lore of Ben Cooper by those action figures.
Oh man.
I
Yeah.
know. Have you ever owned one of those? Have you ever purchased one of those?
So if you didn't bring that up, I was going to bring that up at the end of the segment here. Yeah, they have a line called Ben Cooper Costume Kids, and I think they're on about their like ninth series now where they reproduce the Ben Cooper costumes, but in action figure form where they have kids wearing the different costumes. And yes, I do have three of the figures so far. I have the classic vampire figure. I have the Michael Myers from Halloween 2, and I just bought the other day the Beetlejuice figure. So yeah, man, those are cool. And yeah, if you go onto a website called toyark.com and look up Ben Cooper Kids Costume Kids, you'll see all the different series that they've come out with so far, and man, they're awesome.
Yeah, NECA does a good job of throwing it back to the old classic days, and I think
Yeah,
it's good. It's a good idea to do that in action figure form because obviously, trying to reproduce costumes now. I mean, kids today, there's so many different other choices. You can be and with YouTube now, I mean, anybody can really be a star and be a character.
yeah,
But yeah, but the action figures are nice because you can display those year round if needed.
right. Well, what do you say, Chad? We get into our Mount Rushmores of Ben Cooper costumes. So what we usually do is if we do a normal Mount Rushmore episode, Chad and I will come up with four different topics or things that we think should be on a Mount Rushmore of a topic, like we did a couple episodes ago with the wrestling's most comical moments. But for this episode, we're just going to come up individually with our own four, and we're not going to really decide a consensus of four. We're just kind of coming up with our own little set. So
Yep.
why don't we get into your Mount Rushmore first, Chad?
Like I told you, the information out there on the web, shout out to old school 80s. he's got a real good article up there on our home base, the retronetwork.com. He
Yeah.
documents, I think one of his there's a top 10 Ben Cooper costumes that he remembers.
Right. Right.
So that was a good resource. But my first pick, I'm going with somebody who I think was in their heyday a star of the 60s and early television. I'm going with the Bozo the Clown.
Yeah, man, this thing this
Yeah.
is awesome, but it is at the same time it's pretty creepy too.
Yes, in the box on the box it says, yeah, he's labeled as a TV hero,
Yeah.
and I saw various different Bozo the Clown costumes. I think there were probably what you would probably consider today like variant costumes,
Yeah.
probably based on the year they were produced. I've got an image up here of like I said, that classic plastic mask with the eye holes, and
Yeah.
then what looks like a wax paper. What's he throw right over your head there, and it's the Bozo the Clown, red, yellow, blue kind of themed clown outfit.
Yeah, that's a good pick, man. This was probably before my time. And
Yeah,
yeah, I don't ever remember seeing this one in stores, but yeah, this one's pretty cool.
yeah, and I have no memories of Bozo the Clown. I mean, I'm sure kids maybe in their mid 50s and 60s would probably remember Bozo the Clown from TV, early
Oh
TV
yeah.
days, but
I remember watching it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very creepy though if
Yeah.
if you want to consider it like that. But what's your
Right.
first pick on your Rushmore?
Well, my first pick is coming from 1980, and this is the Pac-Man Ben Cooper costume. I got a picture here of just the mask in the smock laid out. You have the mask is just a yellow circle with two big red eyes and a big smile on the face of the mask. And then the actual costume is an image of Pac-Man, and it says Pac-Man above him, and it just has like the Pac-Man maze in the background. It's yellow and black and red. So I remember going to school. I think I was in first or second grade, and we had a Halloween costume. We did a little parade in the school, and I remember seeing a kid walk by wearing this one, and I'm like, oh man, I was like, that would be cool to have that one.
Yeah, it says the manufacture date on this one. I'm looking at 1980, which, is right there in the heart of our arcade craze.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that's a good pick.
What do you got next?
All right, my next pick, I'm going still in the 60s. We're going to go 1966, and I'm going with the Wolfman. And I believe NECA has produced one of the figurines of the Wolfman.
They
Uh,
have.
yeah, one of those classic kind of like Universal monster kind of
Yeah.
themed characters. But the thing that I thought was interesting about this, the one that I found, it was marketed as a safety first costume. So, as Ben Cooper costumes became prevalent and popular and affordable, there was a lot of public outcry for safety, especially with kids trick-or-treating at night. So, apparently there was an incident also where a child was wearing a Gene Autry cowboy costume and it caught on fire. So there was a lot of outcry against Ben Cooper about the materials they were using and stuff. So one of the things they tried to do was, promote safety. So they marketed this thing as a safety first costume. They made the eye holes really big because, kids were wearing those masks and you could barely see out of them. So I imagine
Yeah.
tripping and falling was a real problem back in the
Yeah.
day. So the eye
Yeah.
holes were bigger. They also had like on the back of the costume where, people generally aren't looking at the back of the costume. They made it look almost like a stop sign and it had kind of a reflective material. So that way, if people out in at night when Halloween trick-or-treaters and they're driving and you see a kid run across the street, you might the Ben Cooper reflective costume would signal to a driver to slow down or watch out. So,
Right.
but that Wolfman, that design is just really cool. It's a classic look. It's got
Yeah, it's great.
the big teeth and then the really cool plastic throw over that there. So I really like that one. It's just the look is just really what gives that one the nod for me.
Yeah, that's got the really classic look. You can't go wrong with any of the Universal monsters. So, yeah, I really like that pick. For my next pick, we're going to go to 1975, and I'm going to go with the Jaws costume.
You would.
So, hey, yeah, you know me, man. I
Yep.
can't, Jaws is one of my favorite franchises. We've talked about it. I did
Uh-huh.
a Nostalgia Oasis Jaws episode for the 50th anniversary. So, yeah, this had to be on my list. Pretty basic. The actual costume is just that iconic Jaws poster print. It says Jaws, and it has the shark, coming up from the water. But what I really like about this one is the mask. It's the shark head, and you have the two eyes on the side, but the actual eye holes of the mask are inside the mouth of the shark on the mask. And I just think this is a pretty cool costume, and you can't go wrong with Jaws.
No, and it's another one that NECA has put out in the action figure form.
I've been searching for this one, man, and I still haven't found it in stores yet.
Man, you got to think mid 70s kid, teenagers going see that movie, man. Jaws Mania. We just
Yeah,
celebrated 50 years this year.
right.
What a classic film and what a classic costume.
So that's my second pick.
Good pick. My next pick on number three for me, I'm going with a character that I am very nostalgic for. 1977 was when this costume was made, although it probably was made in other years as well. I'm going
Right.
with the Incredible Hulk. And
Yeah.
the green and purple is
Oh,
prevalent on this costume.
yeah.
Also, you've got the angry Hulk face for the mask and the hair, and it's just a classic look. The Incredible
Yeah.
Hulk costume and mask would be my third pick.
Yeah, that's an awesome pick. Like I said, you couldn't go wrong with the Universal monsters, but you can't go wrong with any of the superheroes that were out at the time, especially this, yeah, 77, man. The Incredible Hulk TV show was at its prime. And yeah, this costume is,
Yeah, that's what makes this topic so fun is the comic book characters. You basically had take your pick, you know.
yeah,
You can't go wrong with any of them. But yeah, that was
no.
one of my favorites. What about your third pick?
Yeah, my third pick is what I kind of talked about earlier is I was this for Halloween in 1979. I know my mom has a picture of it somewhere. If I can find it, I'll post it on our Instagram. But this is yet from 1977, the Darth Vader costume. Star Wars had just come out that year, and yeah, this probably had to be one of their big sellers for that year, if I'm not, if I had to guess. So this costume is pretty simple. It just has a picture of Darth Vader on the front in black and yellow. It says Star Wars on his chest. And then the mask is just your, Darth Vader helmet with two big eye holes. And yeah, I can remember walking around the neighborhood thinking I was a badass with this costume on, man. I was 5 years old, but yeah, I felt pretty invincible wearing this.
Yeah, I bet you did, man. And
Yeah.
what a fun franchise to pair with three or four of your buddies. You had C3PO,
Yeah.
You said Darth Vader, right?
Darth Vader. Yep.
You had
Chewbacca.
Chewbacca. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you had a stormtrooper. So man, you could get the whole gang involved in this one.
A couple years ago, Target had an exclusive Ben Cooper Darth Vader costume for adults, and I missed out on it. I wish I would have known about it at the time because I definitely would have bought it and and worn it for Halloween a couple years ago. But yeah, that's my third pick.
Nice.
What do you got for the last one?
My last one, I'm gonna give a nod to the girls, the girls that needed somebody to dress up as. I'm going with
Cool.
1976 Wonder Woman, and
Oh yeah,
yeah, just a classic look. Something that very colorful and very popular, of course, targeted towards a female demographic. And Ben
yeah.
Cooper didn't shy away from making sure girls had their choice of their favorite
Oh no.
characters. I remember you had Muppets in the 80s. You had in the late 80s, you had the Pound Puppies.
Yeah.
And then of course, these are your female superheroes. Yeah, I thought it was just a cool one, a cool look.
Yeah, that's definitely, like you said, there was no shortage of girl costumes, man. I can remember like some of my girl cousins, like there was a strawberry shortcake, if I'm not mistaken, like Rainbow Bright and
Yep.
yeah, Miss Piggy. And yeah, they definitely didn't leave the girls out when they came to these costumes. And yeah, that's a really good pick. The like I said, the superheroes are never a miss in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna go to my last pick then for my Mount Rushmore, and I'm gonna go with the Fonz from Happy Days. I believe this came out in 1976. I'm a big Happy Days fan. Yeah, the show took place in Milwaukee, so I always thought as a kid, the show was real in that whenever we went to Milwaukee, I would thought in my head, I'm like, oh man, are we gonna see like the Fonz riding around on his motorcycle or see like Richie and Ralph Malph, riding around on the streets. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this costume, it's got, the Fonz and the costume just says hey on it. It's got him on there with both of the thumbs up in his leather jacket and the mask. For back then they got a pretty good likeness for Henry Winkler for this costume. So that's my last pick for the Rushmore is the Fonz costume.
Yeah, you could they definitely got the hair, the parting of the hair right. But if you
Right.
didn't know, if you just was looking at the mask, you may think of a former president or something, somebody
Yeah.
like that. But with that little Fonz draped over your shoulder there,
Yeah.
you can not mistake that's definitely Henry Winkler and the Fonz. So that's a
Right.
good pick. That's a good pick.
Yeah, I think we both had some really good ones. That's going to round out our first segment of the show, our Ben Cooper Mount Rushmore costumes. I thought it was a pretty fun topic.
Yes, sir. All right, Ken. Well, that was a fun retrospect look at the history of the Ben Cooper costumes, a partial history. There's so much more to dig into with Ben Cooper. So if you're
Yeah.
feeling Halloweeny and nostalgic, get on Google and just search Ben Cooper costumes, and you'll go down the rabbit hole of
Oh,
all the licensing.
yeah, so many to pick from, and it was hard to just pick four.
Yes, it was. So now we're on to topic number two here in the grab bag. We're gonna reach in the bucket, see what we pull out, and oh Lord, what do you know? It's our favorite game. It's time to play our favorite game, Jeopardy. We're gonna go with a Halloween themed edition, of course. So, we've played Jeopardy a few times here in the past,
Right,
and this episode will be no different. We're gonna have five questions from 100 to 500, and then we'll make our wagers here in Final Jeopardy. Ken,
right.
good luck to you. We've
Yeah, good
got
luck to you, Chad.
I've got a couple what I feel like are some. I feel like I was being a little nice to you with some of these first couple questions.
Okay.
Maybe you return the favor. We'll see.
So just Chad, so just two things before we start here. Just to reiterate, we had a summer edition of Jeopardy, which I came out on top. Uh, And
Uh-huh.
and before we get started, let me open my Fanta Chucky's
Ooh,
Punch. So
nice.
yeah, there we go. All
There it
right.
is.
Now I'm ready.
Now he's ready and fueled up there.
I'm ready. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
Why don't you throw the question at me first?
All right,
I'll
Chad.
tackle the question. All right.
Halloween Jeopardy 2025. Your $100 question or answer, should I say. Michael Jackson's Thriller video or song features a spoken word monologue by this horror icon.
Who is Mr. Vincent Price?
You are correct.
Yes,
I thought I'd toss you an easy one there to start off with.
you did. You did. I
All right.
appreciate that.
All right.
Yeah,
Hey, are
Vincent.
you,
Go
by the
ahead.
way, you're going to keep score again, correct?
I'll keep score right now. I got a paper right here.
Chad's the official scorekeeper here on Retro Resurgence Jeopardy.
Yeah. If the listeners make sure to check my math so I don't cheat here. All right. So
All right.
Chad's on the board with 100.
Yep.
Yeah, Vincent Price, man, he's a
Oh,
icon of Halloween. Yeah, a little before my time, but
Yeah.
whether he was in like TV specials or movies or songs, I mean, you name it, he was it's always seemed to come up right around October. All righty, Ken. Well, that was a good one for me. Well, I'm going to go ahead and give you yours. Your $100 question. What big time pop singer sang the guest vocals for Rockwell's 1983 Somebody's Watching Me?
This kind of goes hand in hand with your first question. Who is Michael Jackson?
You are correct.
All right.
Yeah, I was thinking, a lot of people that Rockwell song is only comes around this time of year,
Yeah.
and I don't think the song would be as popular if Michael Jackson hadn't come in and kind of helped
No.
Mr. Rockwell.
And that song may come up later on in the show too, Chad.
Okay, alrighty.
All right. All right, Chad, your $200 question answer. A peanut butter taffy candy wrapped in orange and black wax paper are called these. I will accept two different answers.
I will say, what are Mary Jane's?
Correct.
Yeah.
The other answer that I would have accepted would be what are peanut butter kisses? Because I also, in my research, saw that they were called that as well. But yes, Mary Jane's.
Okay. What are your
All right.
thoughts? What are your thoughts on Mary Jane's?
They're okay. I
Yeah.
mean, I'll eat them if somebody has them laying in a dish or something on a coffee table.
Yeah. They've been around so long that every time I see
Yeah.
one, I just think that somebody just had found one in the cupboard. I always
Yeah.
wonder how old it really is. But
Yeah, right.
yeah, I mean, back in the day, man, I'm sure Mary Janes were probably as popular then as like Reese's and Snickers and Kit Kats are today.
Oh, yeah, I bet. All right. Well, you're two for two so far.
Yep, and here's your $200 question. What is the name of the alter ego portrayed by Cassandra Peterson?
Who is Elvira, Mistress of the Dark?
Yes, and you even got the tagline right too. So,
Yeah.
yes, point for you, Ken. Elvira.
All right. At first, man, when you said that name, it didn't register for a couple seconds.
Yeah, and another person in pop culture, much like Vincent Price, Elvira, definitely, I would say, what, late 70s, 80s. You'd find her in
Yeah.
beer commercials,
Oh, yeah.
food commercials. You saw her hosting Halloween marathons on USA.
Yeah.
Lots of nostalgia around Cassandra Peterson. I know
Right.
she's still around today.
Yeah.
You don't see her as much, so I think this generation probably isn't going to know her as well as former generations, but definitely
Right.
somebody who you can't talk about the history of Halloween without Elvira.
Even I think she even went into the 90s probably too, I would say.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So we're both two for two.
Yep.
Chad, your $300 question. Founded in 1983, this retailer first debuted in San Francisco, California, now having over 1,400 locations in North America.
The retailer, huh?
Yes,
What year?
1983.
Hmm. Uh, what is Walmart?
No.
No.
What is Spirit Halloween?
Oh, 83?
Yeah,
Wow.
when I looked this up, I did not think that they started way back then, but I even researched it on a couple different websites and everything pointed to that said 1983.
Wow. I mean, I totally think of them as like a post millennium kind of store. Uh,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Yeah, it makes sense now why you asked that, but yeah, that's interesting. Spirit
So
Halloween.
I originally had that as my final Jeopardy question, but then I was going through some of my questions and I asked my 15-year-old and he
Yeah,
got it like right away. And I was like, well, damn, maybe I better change that to
an
like
easier one.
an easier
Oh, you
dollar amount. But
you got me because I like again Spirit Halloween. I don't even think I went into a Spirit of Halloween before 2000. So
same. Yeah, me
yeah.
too.
I also heard that Spirit Halloween is now, I guess after Halloween, they break down and they have like a Spirit Christmas store in some parts of the United
Yeah, I think
States.
I saw that they're going to try a Christmas themed one now too. Yeah.
Yeah. People want to shop, and then, it's one thing about the holidays is people have a tendency to overspend. So if you put stuff out there for people to buy, decorations and other things, they're gonna buy it. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
good for them. All right,
Yep.
well, this is your chance to take the lead here. Let's see if this one's a softball or not. I considered even having this because we may have spoken about it before, but I included it
Okay.
anyway. Your $300 question. According to urban legend, what actor was the original mask for Michael Myers in the Halloween franchise based off of?
Who is William Shatner slash Captain Kirk?
Yes, you gave the full response to.
All
Uh,
right.
Yes, a $2 William Shatner Captain Kirk mask that was spray painted white, according to urban legend. That's kind of been one of those tales that you read about on the internet, and sort of the legend has grown. Whether or not that's true or not, you can definitely see the likeness of Captain Kirk, and
Oh yeah.
you think about the time when Halloween came out, the movie Halloween. Star Trek was pretty popular, or getting very popular. So, it would have
Oh
been
yeah.
it would have been made sense to just grab a mask and spray paint it white. So, yeah, I didn't know if you were going to remember that from previous discussions or not. So, good job
Oh
there.
yeah. All right, Chad, we're getting into maybe some harder question territory now. For your 400, It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, first aired in this year.
Uh, what is 1966?
Oh, you nailed it. God, Chad nailed it. Man, I thought I was going to get him.
You thought so?
Ah, well, very good, sir.
Wow.
Yep, 1966.
Yeah, that's a staple here in our household. How about yours?
Oh, yeah, for some reason, we missed it last year because it's only on Apple TV now. But we have Apple TV, but we just never got to it last year. But I'm going to make sure I definitely watch it maybe once or twice this year.
Yeah, I think it's on Apple TV. They have the rights for the next 5 or so years, and then
Yeah.
it's up for auction again. But yeah, you can't have a Halloween season without the Peanuts gang. Ooh,
All right.
I
Well,
pulled that one out.
yeah. So Chad's back in the lead now.
Yep. Alrighty, your $400 question.
Oof. All right.
What popular Halloween sweet treat created in the 1880s
Huh.
was originally named chicken feed?
Oh. In the 1880s,
Yeah, chicken feed.
it's a popular Halloween treat, you say?
Mm-hmm.
What are popcorn balls? I don't know.
You're gonna kick yourself when I tell you the answer. What is candy corn?
Oh,
Kind of makes sense though, right?
yeah. Damn it.
I wanted to throw in a sort of a candy related question, and I thought that one
Right.
was a little obscure, but also if you think about it, you can probably see why chicken feed
Yeah.
would have been an appropriate name.
All right. Well, you got me on that one.
Well, Ken, no fear, because your next question, I kid you not, is going to be for $500, and I'm not making this up.
All right. Do you want your 500 first?
Oh yeah, sorry.
All right, Chad, your 500. This hotel is the setting for Stephen King's The Shining. I'm looking for the name of the hotel in the movie.
Yeah. Oh man, I saw this a few days ago, and I was researching. I want to say for some reason, I want to say it starts with the letter O. I want to say the Odyssey Hotel.
Is that your answer?
Yeah, I don't think it's right.
That is incorrect. You were right with it starting with an O.
What's
The
the word?
answer the answer is what is the Overlook Hotel?
Overlook. Okay. Yeah, I just remember glancing at that, looking at that trivia.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
no point for me. All right, Ken. Well, don't worry about your getting that last $400 question wrong because your next $500 question, and I kid you not, this is what I had for you. Here it is.
All
What
right.
what year did the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown premiere on TV? Now you know why.
Oh.
Now you know why I ripped that answer off.
Oh. What is 1966?
Ding, ding, ding.
Wow. Okay.
And we joke about like in our list format episodes coming up with the same
Yeah.
answer for something, and look at here, we came up with one of the same Jeopardy questions.
All right. Well, okay.
I'll say
So,
you deserve that one because I if I hadn't had that as a question, I wouldn't have gotten yours. So we both
okay.
benefited from having that question.
All right. Well, hey, that's fair because we didn't know what questions we were asking each other. So,
Right.
what do we got for a tally going into Final Jeopardy?
So our scores: Chad sits at $700, and Ken only missed one of his questions, the $400 question. He is up at $1,100, heading into Final Jeopardy.
Okay, so 1100 to 700. All right.
Yep. Now I'll say probably for Final Jeopardy, the person with the lowest score should go first. So,
Sure.
okay, let me I'll risk it all, 700.
All right. Chad's putting it all on the table. Your Final Jeopardy. The original title of the 1978 horror classic Halloween was this.
Oh man. The original title for Halloween.
Yes.
Oh Lord. Um I'll just say it because I saw it on the box art. I know it's probably not right, but The Night He Came Home.
No, that's a good answer though, but the
I
the
have no
correct
clue.
answer the correct answer is what is the babysitter murders?
Oh wow. Jeez.
So yeah, that was going to be the original name of the movie.
Wow. The Babysitter Murders, huh?
Right.
Interesting. Well, that puts me down to 0. So Ken, be very careful what you bid here.
I am going to bid 1099.
All righty. Leave you with $1 if you get it wrong. Very
Right.
smart. All right, your final Jeopardy question. I don't know if you'll get this one. Maybe, hopefully, you will.
Okay.
This was the state that the fictional town of Crystal Lake was placed in for the Friday the 13th series of movies.
Okay.
The state in which the fictional town of Crystal Lake was based in.
Well, the only reason that I think I know what it is because of the eighth movie in the franchise was Jason Takes Manhattan. So I'm going to say, what is New Jersey?
You were correct.
Ah,
Very nice. New
all right.
Jersey. It was actually filmed in New Jersey, in parts of New Jersey, so they kept the state the same, but the town Crystal Lake was fictional, of course. So Ken with $2,199 is the champion of Halloween Jeopardy.
Man.
Man, good job.
All right. Good game, Chad. Yeah. One of these times we'll get you on the W side.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the babysitter murder or whatever.
Yeah.
So the what was the one this summer? The elimination chamber got
Yeah.
me that time too. Well, that was fun, man. It's always
Yeah,
fun
that was
playing a
fun.
little game with you.
That's going to round out the Halloween Jeopardy edition of our 2025 episode here on the Retro Resurgence. All right, Chad. Well, that was a fun game of Halloween Jeopardy. Looks like I came out on top once again, but we had some good questions. You stumped me on one. I stumped you on the final Jeopardy.
I'll have to get you at Christmas. I'll
Yeah,
start I'll
you'll.
start prepping now.
Yeah, all right. All right, so that's going to bring us to segment three of the show. And we are going to talk about one underrated Halloween slash spooky slash horror movie that we think is a good movie but underrated. Do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
So yeah, when you talked about underrated and obscure, one that immediately came to mind for me was one that my buddy had me watch one night at his house in the probably late 90s, early 2000s. This one is an independent film back in 1986 by director John McNaughton, and the film is called Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. Have you ever heard
Mm,
of this one?
I have not, no. So this is going to be new to me.
All right. Well, this one, I just remember owning the DVD. When I saw the movie, I immediately wanted to go and get the DVD and stuff. This is actually almost like it's filmed kind of like a documentary. It's based loosely on the serial killer, the real life serial killer, Henry Lee Lucas, who, according to legend, he claimed to confess to kill around 600 or 700 people.
Wow.
Um, but this is stars actor Michael Rooker. If you don't know Michael Rooker, he's a very good character actor. He's never usually a leading guy. He's always kind of a secondary guy, but he's the lead character in this. He's also in movies like Days of Thunder. He was also one of my favorite characters was Merle in The Walking Dead.
Okay.
But he portrays this killer, Henry Lee Lucas, and it's really cool the way it was shot. You know, as I was doing, kind of a review on it, it's been probably 20 years since I've seen it. You know, one of these days I'd like to watch it again, but it felt so real. The movie, the way it was shot, there was a very like calmness to the movie. It was almost like watching a real life serial killer, being able to peek into their life and see what their daily life was. It's not extremely gory. It's not one of those sort of bloodbath kind of movies, but
Right.
very creepy, very eerie, and IMDb gives it a 7 out of 10. Which is pretty good, but I think it's kind of underrated, especially because of its independent nature and the fact that it's be 40 years old next year. But in an era where you had Freddy and Jason and Halloween movies and stuff, this one kind of was right there in the middle of the
Yeah.
decade. It's one that I think you should check out. It's definitely one that's you kind of check yourself when you're watching it, and it makes it feel very real, like it was like shot from the eyes of the real life killer. So it's one of my favorites, and I think it's very underrated.
Like I said, yeah, I've never heard of that one. Do you know if it's streaming anywhere at the moment?
Yeah, it's actually streaming for free over on Tubi and Amazon
Okay.
Prime and Pluto
Mhm.
as well. So you can
Okay.
find this season here in the Halloween season.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely have to maybe give that a look and check it out. But yeah, good pick.
Thank you. What about your movie, your underrated movie?
My underrated movie is going to be in probably my favorite horror franchise of Halloween. But this movie, I don't know if it's so much underrated anymore, but at the time it was. And this is Halloween 3, Season of the Witch from 1982. So this movie departs from the slasher Michael Myers, and this focuses instead on a sinister plot involving Halloween masks and ancient rituals. This was directed by Tommy Lee Wallace and produced by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill, but they wanted to make the Halloween franchise more of an anthology series, which, they wanted to explore different Halloween themed stories. When this movie came out, it had mixed reception. Fans were disappointed because it strayed away from the Michael Myers storyline. So people were kind of upset about that. Over time, this has gained a cult following and is appreciated for its unique approach and atmosphere. Have you seen this movie?
No, not at all.
The plot, pretty much in a nutshell, is the film follows Dr. Daniel Chalice, played by Tom Atkins, and Ellie Grimbridge, played by Stacy Nelkin, and they're investigating the death of Ellie's father. And then their investigation leads them to the Silver Shamrock Novelties Factory, where they uncover a plot by the owner, Connell Cochran, to use Halloween masks to execute and a mass murder during a televised commercial. The plot involves ancient Celtic rituals and a stolen stone from Stonehenge, adding a supernatural element to the horror. Basically, what this is, it takes place in California, and this guy steals a stone from Stonehenge somehow and brings it to this factory. They chip away at this stone and they put little pieces of it inside these chips that are on the back of these masks. Now, you might know these masks. They're pretty iconic. There's a pumpkin, a skeleton, and a witch mask, which when the kids sit down in front of the TV and watch this commercial, it triggers the chip on the back of the mask. There's a scene in the movie where one of the kids, the mask kind of like adheres to their heads, and then they just fall on the floor and like bugs and like all kinds of nasty stuff come crawling out of their like eyes and ears and nose and mouth and like basically kills the kids. The reason why isn't really said in this movie, if I'm remembering right. For a long time, I kind of stayed away from this because it didn't have the Michael Myers storyline in it. You know, one night I was just watching TV looking for something to watch, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to make myself sit down and watch this movie. And actually, I kind of like it. Yeah, over time, like I said, it's kind of gained a cult following, and it's actually a pretty good movie. And now every Halloween, I sit down and watch it.
Nice. Now, I know you said that this isn't really the focus isn't really Michael Myers. Is
No.
this considered the third Halloween though? I mean, I know it says Halloween 3, but is that like did John Carpenter when he released Halloween the next time, did he go with number 4 or how did
Yeah, the next movie that came back was Halloween 4, and Michael Myers did come back to the franchise and has been there ever since. So, yeah, they kind of tried something different and it really didn't work. So the tagline for this film is "The night no one comes home." So
Nice.
if you ever have time to look up the commercial in this movie, the Silver Shamrock, it's pretty famous now. And when you hear it, you may have, think to yourself, oh, I've probably heard this somewhere before. But if you haven't seen the movie, you might not recognize it.
Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Be in front of your TV sets for the Horathon. And remember the big giveaway at 9.
And it looks like this was the only one that was written by Tommy Lee Wallace. The future sequels would go on to feature various other screenwriters. John Carpenter did the first 2, and it looks like after that he was kind of out. And then you had later on, and you'd had Rob Zombie do his version,
right?
And then now you've got like Danny McBride and his posse doing stuff. So that's cool.
And just for reference on Rotten Tomatoes, this has a critic tomato meter of 49% and an audience popcorn meter of 31%. So yeah, not too popular among fans, but I like the movie. So yeah, I watch it every year, but that's my movie.
Yeah, and I guess then they'll probably feature this on AMC during the marathons, huh?
Yeah, you can find this. It's over on Peacock as well, but yeah, this is over on AMC if you want to watch it there too.
You're in the middle of the Retro Resurgence's Halloween Trick-or-Treat Grab Bag Spooktacular episode. The guys will be right back after this quick message from Q106.5.
discover the legendary Q106.5 in your car, on your smart speaker, on your phone. Browse to Q1065.com. 80s, 90s. This is a radio station with a vibe. Download our app or listen online. Search at Q1065 Radio on social media. The Q is your favorite radio station. Discover Q106.5 and hear the 80s and 90s hits on the radio station with personality. Q106.5.
All right, Ken. Well, those were two cool picks there of some obscure horror films that, you probably won't hear about on any other podcast this season. So I'm glad we're thinking outside the box a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what we do here on our grab bag episode, just like to randomly reach in the bag and see what we pull out. So
Yep.
we're continuing on here. We're about halfway done through our episode, and now, one of Ken's ideas for the episode, we're going to come up with 3 scary or creepy music videos of the past. So,
Yeah.
A lot of places, a lot of ways you can go, but we just decided to go with 3 different creepy videos or scary videos. So, Ken, why don't you give us your first pick here on the music videos?
All right. My first pick goes back to one of your questions that we had in Jeopardy. So my first pick is Rockwell's Somebody's Watching Me. This debuted December 27th, 1983. So kind of a weird time to put a video like this out right after Christmas. But this video depicts Rockwell at his home taking a shower and having illusions of his every move being recorded by a video camera. Other scenes in the video include Rockwell in a cemetery. He's in the shower and the tap water turns to like blood as he's taking a shower. And then he's having his mail delivered by a mailman who appears to be alive, but is in fact undead. And then the video ends with the mailman handing Rockwell a package, but whether this is a moment of danger or just an unsettling interaction remains ambiguous. So yeah, man, this video, like as a kid, when I saw this in 83, I was only 9, and this was kind of scary. And of course, it has to depict a creepy mailman in the video. So any new listeners to the show that don't know, I am a mailman is what I do for my day job. So
a soft spot for the mail carrier, man.
Oh, and one other note, this mailman that was in this video also has a cameo in Rockwell's next video called Obscene Phone Caller. So he had some kind of weird songs and videos to start off his career.
Yeah, and this is a song you'll find on a lot of Halloween playlists.
Yeah.
It's become, the legend of Rockwell has grown. Not so much, again, the guy, he was actually the son of Motown CEO Berry Gordy.
Right.
I think Michael Jackson must have been doing his pal Berry Gordy a favor by throwing in some background vocals for Mr. Rockwell there.
Yeah, definitely.
But
what do you got for your first one?
So my first one, I'm going to go in the 80s. I'll start off with my earliest pick. This one is 1986. It's from the band Genesis, and it's The Land of Confusion.
That is my third pick.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
We did
All right.
it again. Let's talk about it then.
All right.
This was one that I had not seen this video prior to a few days ago. I don't know how it missed me because I've heard the song many times, and I don't consider this, I don't really consider this a Halloween song just from hearing it, but when you're listening to it, or I'm sorry, when you're watching the video, you can definitely sort of get a sort of a Halloween vibe because the video features caricature puppets from a British TV show that was called Spitting Image.
Yeah.
Now, I had no idea what Spitting Image was.
No.
But they used the puppets from that show, and after Phil Collins saw a caricatured version of himself on the show, he commissioned the show's creator, Peter Flux and Roger Law, to create puppets of his entire band. as well as lots of different characters in the video. So
Yeah.
it's got a very almost somewhat similar to like a Jim Henson Muppet kind of feel, except
Yeah.
these had a different little style to them than Jim Henson. But yeah, I'm gonna throw that in there as my scary, creepy video. I was very kind of creeped out by all the different puppets.
Yeah, man, you got like puppets of course, Ronald and Nancy Reagan are the two main puppets in the video, but then you've also got like Rambo and Michael Jackson and Prince, all kinds of different, man. I'm going to tell you this, man. When I first saw this video, I could not fall asleep that night because I just had the scenes from this video running through my head. You said 86. I was 12, so a little bit older, but man, this video was just downright creepy, man.
Yeah, I imagine during that time MTV was showing this nonstop during the year. I don't know if it was during just the regular year or during Halloween, but yeah, I'll throw this into the Halloween music video kind of
Sure.
lore because yeah, anytime you have puppets and people dressed up as
Yeah.
not themselves, man, it's pretty
Yeah.
crazy. So,
Yeah.
well, man, I picked one of your picks then.
Yeah. So yeah, that was going to be my third pick.
How about I'll go again and then I'll
Okay.
save your second pick here for your last pick.
All right. Good.
All right, so my next pick, I'm gonna go in the '90s. A band that I didn't listen to very much, but they had a very distinct following. It's Nine Inch Nails, and the video is called "Closer."
Oh yeah.
It was it's a very controversial video because it has imagery of like a monkey tied to a crucifix and a beheaded pig, images of human genitalia. Created a big stir in the 90s with this video. Nine Inch Nails frontman Trent Reznor is found to be donning fetish gear while performing the song. The song was really sort of a song about self-hatred. Originally, it was about self-hatred. The video and a sexually charged chorus have turned it into a lust anthem of sorts. So, if you played it by itself, just the music at any like kind of haunted house or something like that, it would pair very well with something like that. Have you heard
Oh
the
yeah,
song?
I have definitely heard this song, seen the video.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the mid '90s, there Nine Inch Nails was
Yeah.
on top of the world pretty much for, I wouldn't say well, were they alternative? Maybe hard rock.
I wouldn't say heavy metal. They were kind of definitely more and not alt rock either. It was definitely, I don't know what
Yeah.
you'd call them really. They were definitely kind of a definitely unique band with a unique sound.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, man, I do like the song, but yeah, the video is kind of a little off-putting, when you first see it. But that's a
Yeah.
good pick, though.
I could just imagine that song, like a slasher walking very slow through the woods, a
Yeah,
scene in a movie where you'd have that song and it's just blaring and the bass is kicking in and stuff like that. And it's,
yeah,
definitely an anticipating kind of song, as you're like traversing through somewhere, attacking, looking for somebody to attack. So very
right.
creepy, just the
Yeah.
song itself.
All right, yeah, good pick. All right, then. So we'll go to my second pick, my last pick here. And I'm going to stay in the 80s. And this is from the Jacksons, August 16th of 1984. And this is off their Victory album. So back in the 80s, Michael Jackson went back on tour with his brothers, the Jacksons. And this song is called Torture. One misconception about the lyrics of this song are that people at the time thought it was about sadomasochism and physical torture, when in fact the group said the lyrics of the song are about a relationship that is about to end and how the feelings of love become torture when a breakup is nearing. If you watch this video, it has nothing to do with a relationship. This video just has to be seen. There's all kinds of weird, I can't even explain it. You have to see it. In the video, there's various acts of torture, and various members of the band are usually on the receiving end. At some points, the video looks like a horror movie, and then near the end, a group of skeletons that represent the Jacksons are shown dancing. The dancing skeletons were animated at Peter Wallach Enterprises. But in this video, neither Michael nor Jermaine Jackson appear in the video. Jermaine was busy with other obligations, and Michael refused to be in the video after he had sketched out ideas for the shoot with the production company and his brothers. So he's not even in the video. So they rented a wax dummy of Michael from Madame Tussauds Museum in Nashville to put him in the video. So if that's not creepy, I don't know what else is. But yeah, man, there's all kinds of like just weird acts of like torture and just weird stuff in this video, dude. You have to watch it.
I will. It looks like it said it peaked at number 17 on the Hot 100. This would have been after Thriller, huh?
Yeah, this is a couple years after Thriller, like maybe 2 years after. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and it's kind of like, he went back to the group, and definitely a unique. I'll have to listen to it. I've never even heard of this, to be quite honest.
Yeah, the song, I really like the song, but the video is like nightmare stuff, man. It's weird.
All right, I'll add it to my watch list there, and maybe I won't watch it too late.
Yeah.
All right, well, Ken, my last pick, I just actually watched it today. I was looking for the third video to complete the trio here, and I'm going to go to 2009, a little newer, but a band who was very prevalent in the 80s, Depeche Mode. There's a song that they have called Wrong. You ever heard of this one?
I have not, no.
Okay. So this music video is almost like a 3.5 minute short film. It gets praised a lot for the video. It's got creepy imagery, and the song has a very dark mood to it, which is a perfect fit to pair those two things together. Basically, you see a car going backwards in a dark city, and you don't really know what's happening, but all of a sudden you see a guy is tied up in the car, and you're still not sure what's going on, what's he doing. He's got a mask on. And he's going backwards. The car is driving through the city. He runs into many objects and eventually peels off his mask. He's being chased by a cop. And then right before the song ends, you think that, that's the end of the song. And all of a sudden the truck T-bones the car. The way it was shot, it was very cinematic. And a lot of people say this is a very good work by the producer of the music video. The lyrics are also very creepy. The word wrong, which is the name of the song, it's said 72 times in the song.
Wow.
And it's got an electronic synth pop kind of sound that to me just sounds very sinister. This would go great on any spooky playlists where you're trying to really give somebody the creeps, like a haunted house or something of that nature. So
okay.
Depeche Mode's Wrong from 2009 is my last pick.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to go definitely listen to it and check out the video as well.
Well, those were some good picks, Ken.
Yeah.
Go check them out, listeners.
Yeah, tell us what you think. If you have seen them or know the songs, or if they're new to you, yeah, let us know. Okay, Chad, we're rolling on with the episode. We're at segment 5 of the show. We like to talk some sports here on the show, as you all know. So we thought that why don't we go with 3 scary athletes that Chad and I have picked. So what do you got for your first pick?
All right, and this is one that we may match on a couple here. So if I match with you, Ken, let's just talk about them together.
All right.
My first pick is going to be a New York Giant legend, Lawrence Taylor, the Giants Hall of Fame linebacker. He played 13 years in the league, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, just a one-man wrecking crew for the Giants in the mid to late 80s and early 90s. Inducted in the Hall of Fame in 1999, a pass rushing demon who came off the edge with so much speed and power. Also, he very public on his use of drugs while he was in the league. That I think contributes to his image of being just a scary dude. And one of my favorite movies we talked about in a previous episode was Any Given Sunday in the
Yeah,
late 90s. I think he was actually in the movie. Those characters were loosely based off of Lawrence Taylor, and his competitiveness, his ferocity. And of course, the thing about Lawrence Taylor is that in 1985, on a game on Monday Night Football, he comes around and breaks Joe Theismann's leg in one of the most gruesome injuries you'll ever see in the
yeah,
NFL. Essentially ended Joe's career. But he inspired a host of other linebackers like Derek Thomas, Ray Lewis. Players of today have a lot to give thanks to Lawrence Taylor for the linebacker, the type of player he was. So
right.
LT is one of my scariest athletes of all time.
Yeah, definitely a good pick. I remember as a kid, I remember watching that game live on Monday Night Football when he broke Joe Theismann's leg like that. And yeah, man, they must have replayed that play about 4 or 5 times, and you could just see the leg, the bone
Yeah.
snap. Definitely deserves to be on that list.
Yeah,
So,
nowadays the TV, when they saw something like that, they would have the decency not to even show it.
right.
You'd have to find it on on social media, somebody who saw it live and rewound it.
All right. So that's a good pick. My first pick is going to be one of the players that you just mentioned, former linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens, Ray Lewis. I mean, what can you say? This guy, had the ability to deliver bone-crushing tackles anywhere on the field, and just a all-around great defensive player, probably one of the toughest players to ever play in the NFL. And I remember watching a video of the Ravens playing the Cincinnati Bengals, and Chad Johnson was a wide receiver for the Bengals,
I
and
know what you're about to say.
he tried to throw a block at Ray Lewis, and he just like bounced right off of him and hit the ground so hard. He went over to the sidelines and was talking to one of the coaches. He was like, man, I tried to get a chip block on him or something, and he just didn't move.
Yeah, that's a funny
So
bit, and I feel like Chad Johnson's a funny player, and but yeah, that's a very funny bit of him coming on the sidelines saying that he made a mistake.
yeah, the Baltimore Ravens in 2000 probably had one of the best defenses ever in NFL history. I think they only gave up 166 points the whole season that year, and yeah, Ray Lewis was probably the center of that defense. And yeah, man, just a great player, and probably, yeah, to when you saw the Ravens on the schedule, man, he's one of the first guys that probably would, pop in your head that you had to worry about.
Yeah, as a Steeler fan, we saw Ray Lewis many times in the
Yeah,
2000s, and you respected what he did because he was definitely a Hall of Fame player, and but he was definitely one you wished he was on your team. That's how good he was.
yeah,
All right,
thanks.
I'm gonna stay in the world of football. We're gonna go a little older. We're gonna go in the 70s, and I just talked about my Steelers. One of the leaders of that steel curtain defense was a man named Jack Lambert.
Yeah.
When your nickname is Dracula in cleats, because he was a very tall guy, but what he was very physically imposing. I think the thing that makes him very scary is that he was actually missing teeth.
Yeah,
And if you look at pictures of him with his Steeler helmet on and his Steeler jersey on, and he's just smiling with like no teeth there in the front teeth, that's
right.
just a hallowing image to if you're lined up against him, seeing that. He played 10 years with the Steelers. Like I said, he was probably the leader of the Steel Curtain defense, one of the most feared players in league history. The missing teeth and the intense eyes just made lining up against him a tall task. So I had to go with Dracula in cleats, Mr. Jack Lambert, as one of the most creepiest, scariest dudes that ever play the game.
Yeah, man, if you be on the opposing team and you're looking across the ball and see that guy, man, yeah, Steel Curtain, probably one of the best defensive ever in the NFL. And yeah, man, that's a good pick. I know you're the Steelers guy, and yeah, man, that defense was really great. Number two for me is I'm also going to stay in the NFL, and this is a player that played 10 seasons as a safety from 1971 to 1980. He played for the Oakland Raiders and Houston Oilers, and this is the assassin, Jack Tatum. This guy was probably one of the hardest hitting safeties probably ever played the game. He brought fear to every wide receiver he came in contact with. Also, in his career, he unfortunately paralyzed New England Patriot wide receiver Darryl Stingley. He wasn't an intentional hit, but he felt bad about it. When asked about it, he basically said, he considered that was his job to hit hard and stop the play, and that's what he did. Unfortunately, he did paralyze a player, and I think that this Darryl Stingley has a son that plays now in the NFL, Darryl Stingley Jr.
Yeah, I guess if you paralyze a man on the field, that'll probably add to your reputation of being a scary dude, even whether or not the intention was there or not. I mean, the what comes with that is just fear and just intimidation. So that's a good pick. Jack Tatum, definitely somebody that you had to look out for when he was on the field.
As far for your Steelers, you might remember him. He was the guy that hit Frenchie Fuqua that turned into the Immaculate Reception in the 1972 playoffs. And probably if it wasn't for that hit, that ball probably doesn't land into Franco Harris's hands, and he doesn't run for the touchdown there.
Yeah, unknowingly he contributed to one of the most iconic plays in the history of the NFL.
Yep.
Yeah, had he done something slightly different, that would have been a game probably the Raiders would have won.
Right.
All right. Well, my last pick, I'm debating because I'm waiting to see if the guy that I'm gonna say might be on yours, but I'm gonna choose the guy that I don't think you will have. So my guy, I'm gonna go with the NHL. Now the NHL, man. We've had over the years, we've had some enforcers, but there was a guy in the 80s and the 90s that was the enforcer. His name was Ty Domi. Do you remember this guy?
Well, I wasn't still to this day, not really a big hockey fan. So, no, that name is not ringing a bell to me.
Well, this is one of the most iconic enforcers in the NHL. He was a kind of a bald guy. He played from 89 to 2006, mainly for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He was also one of the most penalized and suspended players in league history. He was one of the most fined players as well in terms of paying fines. But he had many controversial moments in his career, including he sucker punched a player one time. He also, while he was in the penalty box, another time, he got in a fight with a fan and, kind of went over the glass, and him and this fan who was heckling him started going at it. So, but those incidents contributed to his reputation as a tough and dirty player. And he was one of those players that he was despised everywhere he went, except if he was on your team. So if he was for Toronto, you loved to have him. He was bringing the heat, bringing the force to those Toronto Maple Leafs teams of the 90s. So I went with Ty Domi, a name you probably won't hear much these days, but if you go back and look at his YouTube clips, you'll see why this guy was probably you needed to know where this guy was at all times on the ice.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, hockey's a scary sport in and of itself, man, to be, flying around on ice, ice skates and sticks flying everywhere, the hockey puck.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, you got to be tough as nails to play that sport. So, yeah man, that's a good pick.
So who you got for your last pick?
My last pick, I kind of took an easy one, and we're all going to know him. And as Vince McMahon introduced him, the baddest man on the planet, Iron Mike Tyson.
That's who I was had as my fourth pick.
Okay.
But I said I think I'll let Ken take the reign on that one, and you came through, man.
I mean, what else is there to say about Mike Tyson? He was only 5'10", but probably considered the hardest hitting, most dominant boxers of his time. mid 80s, probably all the way, probably through all the 90s. He struck fear in his opponents. I think 50% of probably the fights he won was probably just because the person that he was fighting just had that mental in their head, just,
Yeah.
okay, when is he going to hit me and how hard is he going to hit me?
Yeah, and that, you can call that like a psychological killer because, some of these fights he probably already had it won before he even
Yeah.
threw a punch.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah, what a dude. This might be the ultimate scariest dude in the history of any sport.
Yeah.
Obviously the sport of boxing, you got to be tough, you got to be kind of scary, but if imposing, he wasn't standing tall over people. I mean, he was
No.
normal size. He was kind of undersized, really, if you think of
Yeah.
boxers. But dude, the ferociousness, the quickness, the power. Oh my God! Like the kids
Yeah.
today, if you're looking at Mike Tyson and looking at his fight last year with Jake Paul and
Yeah.
yeah, basing your opinion of Mike based off of that, or even
No.
the Hangover movies, you're doing yourself a disservice. Go back the late '80s when he was undefeated, he was knocking everybody out. Up until that one fight with Buster Douglas,
Yeah.
that Buster Douglas shocked the world. My
Right.
favorite Tyson. I go back often and look at YouTube. It was when he fought Peter McNeely, a white guy from New York, the Bronx area, that
Right.
he was talking so much trash. And during the match, Peter McNeely he's jumping around and he's energized and he's trying to hype the crowd. And before the match, Tyson's just looking at him with this death stare, like you're getting ready to make the biggest mistake of your life. And he knocked out McNeely. They called the match within the first minute.
Oh,
It,
yeah.
it was hilarious, but Mike was, dude, that was after jail. He had come back, had a little bit of a comeback, but
Yeah.
whether you look at that era or the era before he went to jail, I mean, this guy was
Yeah.
bad. This guy was
Yeah.
bad.
I mean, from biting Evander Holyfield's ear, it sometimes in press conferences, I remember listening to one, he said that he wanted to eat his opponent's children.
Hmm.
Just, yeah, man, this guy, great boxer, the youngest ever to win the heavyweight title. And yeah, if you're a younger person, don't base your opinions on Mike Tyson from seeing his ass cheeks on Netflix.
That's right.
So,
And I
yeah.
just I just got an idea. If Ben Cooper costumes had held out for just a few years longer,
Oh,
you could have had a Mike Tyson Ben Cooper costume.
oh
Um,
man.
you
Yeah.
could have had the thing you drape over yourself, had the pecs and the abs and the muscles coming off.
Oh,
You'd had the boxing shorts, and that would have been. You could have had the tooth, the little, was it the gold tooth or whatever, like
yeah,
he did have in Punch Out. Yeah, and that's another thing too, man. The icon of the video game world with Mike Tyson's Punch Out. So,
exactly.
when you have that kind of career, man, you deserve every accolade. And man, Mike Tyson, he was a bad man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Was
man. So there we have six scary athletes, and we thought that we like to talk sports on the show, so we figured we throw in for the Halloween six of the scariest athletes that we could come up with. So I thought it was a pretty fun topic.
Yeah, and look for a collage. I'll throw a collage up on Instagram with these six guys, and
Sweet.
be a very menacing image there. So.
All right.
All right, Ken. Well, we're rounding third base to steal a baseball analogy, and we're headed home here on our Halloween grab bag episode. It's been a fun one. Your last topic that you chose for us to go out on is a two songs that everyone should put on their Halloween playlist. Now, we're in the season where, I know you have a lot of time on your hands, Ken, when you're doing your job, and you're probably looking for those songs there to
Oh,
get you in the holiday spirit. So, if you're out at carnivals or fall festivals or whatever, throw these on your playlist. Yeah. We got two coming at you, two each from each of us. So, Ken, why don't you start off with your first one?
Yeah, man, I was listening to my Halloween playlist today while I was working, had it blaring in the earbuds, and this song is probably one that I listen to a lot when I do listen to the Halloween playlist. And this is from, I'll say rap/hip hop group of Houdini. This was released October 1st, 1983. And this might not be the song that you're thinking of, Chad. Now, they have a song called The Freaks Come Out at Night, which is a good song, but
that's not what you're picking.
That's not what I'm picking.
Oh, okay.
This song is called The Haunted House of Rock.
Wow.
So now
reaching deep in the grab bag there.
Yeah, man. Now this song, I love this song. The Haunted House of Rock was Houdini's second single, released just in time for Halloween 1983. Houdini combined the goofy fun of the Fat Boys with the virtuosity of Run DMC to create what is the rap equivalent of a clever horror movie. This song's got, man, it's heavy on the sound effects, and the song is full of references from various famous monsters like Dracula, Bloody Mary, the Invisible Man, the creature from the Black Lagoon, Frankenstein, and yeah, man, it's got a lot of cool sound effects in the song. The beat is awesome. The song is awesome, and I listen to this one all the time.
Welcome to the place where all the creatures meet. The last building to your left on the dead-end street. You find skeleton bones outside in the pavement and torture chambers down in the basement. Cobwebs hanging over your head. Music being played by the Grateful Dead. And spinning on the turntables back to back was no other than my main man, Wolfman Jack. The MC of the night, rapping to the tunes, was the creature from the Black Lagoon. There's a sign on the door that can't be missed. It reads enter, but at your own risk. People been reported going in the haunted house, but never again seen coming out. You ask me if it's true, I'll leave it up to you. Here's an invite, I hope I see you tonight.
Very good. Yeah, I thought you were going to go with a very common pick. You hear a lot of Halloween shows talk about the freaks come out at night.
Right. Now that song is on my playlist also, but this one, I like this one a little bit more over that one. All right, Chad, what you got for your first song?
All right, so with my two picks, I wanted to go with one that kind of you would find a lot of people talking about, and then one that is a little bit obscure. I'll throw in my common one. We're going to go with the 1962 fun Halloween classic, The Monster Mash.
It caught on in a flash.
He did the mash.
He did the monster mash. From my laboratory in the castle east to the master bedroom where the vampires feast. The ghouls all came from their humble abodes to get a jolt from my electrode.
They did the mash.
They did the monster mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
They did the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
They did the mash.
Yeah.
Sung by Bobby Boris Pickett. Now, everyone's heard this song. We only hear it at this time of year. It doesn't make sense any other time of the year. This is a fun one to go back and look at because this singer, Bobby Pickett, he did a lot of stand-up, and he was very much known for his portrayal of Boris Karloff's Frankenstein monster. And that inspired him to write the song and sing the song as well. He teamed up with a friend of his, a singer, Leonard Capizzi, to make this novelty song. It featured Pickett's Karloff voice, and then in less than an hour, they recorded the song known as Monster Mash with a band that they called the Crypt Kickers.
Oh, okay.
Crypt Kickers.
Okay.
And the song...
Say that 3 times fast.
Yeah. The song was, really intended to cash in on some of the prevalent dance crazes back in the day. So you had dances like the twist and the mashed potato. And then this song is just about the dance itself. It's based off of the mashed potato, which was popular in the 60s. It reached #1 in the Hot 100 in October of 1962. And then again, Hot 100, it reached number 91 in 1970. And then a few years later, number 10 in 1973. And then it's also re-entered the charts ever since. And it's always around this time of year.
Yeah.
It got to even number 37 in 2021. So,
Wow.
this song is like anything that's seasonal. You like Starbucks and their pumpkin frappuccinos and that
Yeah.
sort of thing. You see it, it's here for a little while, and then it goes away. So, but
Yeah.
Monster Mash, you'll find this at any Halloween party. If it's a good party, you're gonna find this. So.
Yeah, that's definitely a classic, just like you have your classic Christmas songs. This is definitely a classic Halloween playlist song, and I have it on mine, and I don't ever skip over it because I know of how long it's been around and just the significance of it. So that's got to be one that everybody has on their playlist. So that's a good pick.
Well, what's your second pick?
My second pick, we're gonna go from rap and hip hop to rock. This is from Alice Cooper, and this song was released off of his Constrictor album from August 29th of 1986, and this is called He's Back, parentheses, The Man Behind the Mask, and it was used as the theme song for Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. Have you heard of this song, Chad?
No, I have not.
So this song has been described as really celebrating the return of Jason Voorhees after he was killed off in the fourth film, Friday the 13th, the final chapter, and only appearing in flashbacks and hallucinations in the fifth installment, Friday the 13th, A New Beginning from 1985. So yeah, you had those two movies there, which Jason really wasn't in these movies. The one movie, Friday the 13th, the final chapter from 84, I just watched like last week, and that had Corey Feldman in it from before he was in Goonies the following year. It was okay. I really didn't care for that one a whole lot, but yeah, when he came back in Part 6, Jason Lives, they had this song from Alice Cooper that was the main theme of that movie, and it's a cool song. It's got a good rock. It's a good rock song. It's about Jason. And
Did you hear that voice? Did you see that face? Or was it just a dream? This can't be real. That only happens, babe, on the movie screen. Oh, but he's back. He's the man behind the mask, and he's out of control. He's back. The man behind the mask, and he crawled out of his hole. You're swimming with your girl out on Lover's Lane.
Yeah, man, you can't go wrong with Alice Cooper either,
no,
a legend in his own right.
right. And of course, he's kind of scary looking as well. So it
That's
kind
right.
of fits the bill.
Yeah.
So that's my second pick.
Cool. Well, I'm going to go with my last pick, and this is going to be my kind of the dark horse. You may not hear about this one too much on any sort of Halloween themed podcast, but I'm going to go with a 1984 hit from singer Laura Branigan called Self Control.
Ah, yes.
Now, I thought this song was called Creatures of the Night because it's got a lyric that says, I live among the creatures of the night. In reality, the song is actually called Self Control. If you listen to the song, man, this fits right in with any song from that era, that decade, from Thriller to, all the hits of the 80s that we consider Halloween classics.
It's a great song, man.
Yeah, and it's very underrated, and I think it fits the Halloween theme, both in its lyrics and its sound, and also its video. I could have easily thrown this on the creepy music video, because it was controversial, because there's I guess this is Brannigan, she's exploring the nightlife while she's being followed by a strange masked man. It's kind of like a Phantom of the Opera type.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he appears in her bedroom and she surrenders to him. It's a very dark synth pop song. Right. It was actually covered. She was actually covering it because the original singer the same year, a guy named Raf, R-A-F, from Italy, he hit #1 in Italy and Switzerland with this song, but Brannigan's version was the one that most people here in the States heard. Like I said, it fits the bill for Halloween because it contains lyrics about the nighttime, and then of course the classic line, "I live amongst the creatures of the night."
You take myself control. I live among the creatures of the night. I haven't got the will to try and fight against a new tomorrow, so I guess I'll just believe it that tomorrow never comes. I said night. I'm living in the forest of a dream. I know the night is not as it would seem. I must believe in something, so I'll make myself believe it. This night will never go.
And then my favorite part of this song is the refrain when you're having, during the song, you hear the, oh,
Yeah, yeah.
oh.
Yeah,
And,
great.
that would be great at any Halloween party if the people attending knew the song and could holler those lyrics
Yeah.
back. It would
Yeah.
just be great. So the song was featured in Grand Theft Auto Vice City, which was a game that I played back in the day. It's also included in the 2025 Netflix film called Fear Street Prom Queen.
Oh,
And then many other DJs have remixed this song to be even more Halloween themed and Halloween sounding. One particular one remixed by a guy named Vinny Vinyl features Brannigan's lines in the background. So Brannigan was mainly known for her hit song Gloria in
Yeah.
the 80s, but this one I think was definitely probably her second, one of my favorite hits, and probably her second biggest hit of her career. Laura Branigan, Self Control. Check it out.
yeah, that's a good song, man. I knew the song, but I haven't thought about that one like on a Halloween playlist. But then, as you're talking about it, I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to put that on there now.
Yeah, man, throw it in there.
So yeah, any listeners, any song suggestions that you think should be on a Halloween playlist, hit us up at our Gmail or definitely message us on Instagram or on our website. But yeah, man, good picks.
Yeah, and we didn't want to throw in some of the obvious picks, the thrillers, and even like you said, I thought you were going to go with Houdini Freaks Come Out at Night, but you surprised me with that other one. So
Yeah.
good way to think outside the box a little bit.
All right, Chad, we have come to the end of episode 27, the Retro Resurgence Halloween Trick or Treat Grab Bag episode. I thought we had some really good topics. We played a game of Halloween Jeopardy. What'd you think of the episode overall?
Well, aside from giving you the crown yet again on our theme Jeopardy, man, it was a good show, man. I'm exhausted, man. We kind of ran the gamut of Halloween, and that's what we like to do here on this grab bag episode. We told you when we reformatted the show, we were going to kind of streamline the show, fewer segments, fewer topics, but that does not apply to our grab bag episodes. Our grab bags, are intended to be for special one-off episodes. We'll do it again Christmas time, and who knows, we'll hit that format every now and then. But it's fun to just take a plethora of different topics themed for the season and just talk freely about the different topics. And I thought it was good, man. We have a lot of stuff there in the grab bag that you can take your pick. So a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like doing these episodes. Like you said, we're trying to streamline the show, but when we have these grab bag episodes or like holiday specials, we're probably going to go a little longer. But if we have the topics and they're fun and interesting, I don't mind doing longer episodes. So yeah, this was a fun one. We crammed a lot of stuff in there, and we hope people listen to it. We're getting close. By the time this episode drops, it will be a week away from Halloween. So a lot of, good listening for people around the season of Halloween.
Yeah, we would be remiss to mention our home base, the Retro Network. Mickey, who runs that site, this is his favorite time of year, so every day he's dropping articles, whether it's movies, music, comics, you name it. He's got a lot of Halloween themed articles, perfect for the season. You know, we also can't go through October without mentioning one of the original founders of the Retro Network, Mr. Jason Gross. We are, as this podcast drops, we will be close to the 2 years of his unfortunate passing. And I know Jason was very big on Halloween. He ended up passing during the Halloween season, which, you know,
Right.
if you're a believer and you think that, you know, things happen for a reason, you know, that kind of is something that you can look and smile on and think that Jason's looking down, thinking of looking at all his retro buddies, hoping we're doing him proud. But we just
Yeah.
thought we'd throw his name up there and just tell the folks that we miss him. And any thoughts there, Ken?
Yeah, you said it pretty good there, Chad. Like we've said before in the past, he's probably one of the main reasons of why we're doing this show. He was really good at what he did, and we're just, here trying to continue on keeping the retro and nostalgic memories alive, which is what he loved to do, and that's what we're trying to do here. And some of the themes of the show are kind of offshoots of what Jason and Mickey did on their show, and I don't think they, mind us using some of those formats and things like that. Yeah, we just want to, give a little shout out and tribute to Jason, and hopefully he's up there looking down and thinking what we're doing is great here and continuing on what he started at the Retro Network. So yeah, we just want to give a little shout out to Jason.
Well said, Ken. And listeners, we thank you for joining us here on this action-packed, fun-filled episode here, the grab bag version of the Retro Resurgence podcast. Give us your thoughts. We have from our loyal listeners like Space and Jim. We love new comments. We're gaining new followers. So if you're a new listener, reach out to us. Let us know you're listening. We love to hear your feedback. The final word will be if you're getting ready for the spooky season, the Halloween season. If you're a fan of this time of year, or if this is just a stopgap until the Christmas season, we hope you and yours have a great Halloween. Ken, hope you and your family have a good Halloween season. You guys got any plans for trick-or-treating?
No, my two youngest boys, now they're kind of older, and I asked them if they wanted to go trick-or-treating this year, and both of them said no, they just want to hang around the house and hand candy out. I think my wife's going to make a big crock pot full of chili, and if the weather's decent, we're going to sit outside and maybe start up a fire pit and, hand candy out and eat some chili. And yeah, that's what we got planned.
Yeah, we're I hope that would be something similar to what we do as well. My daughter, 3 years old, has decided this is her fourth time she's changed her mind, and the last time she said something, we said, okay, no more changes. So it looks like we're gonna be dressing up as astronauts.
Oh.
I'm not quite sure where that came from. I need to check with my wife. I feel like maybe my daughter watched something with an astronaut in it like 5 minutes before she said it. It's the thing she wants to be. But we went from the Bluey family to a mermaid to a unicorn and now an astronaut. So you never know with ones that little, they could be
Right.
it could be just about anything. But it's going to be fun. And Ken, great episode again. Always love doing this with you. And listeners, thanks for listening. And until next time, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yep. Happy Halloween, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Difficulties. Please stand by. Dark masks, gather round your TV set. Put on your masks and watch. All witches, all skeletons, all jack-o'-lanterns.
The third
Gather
commercial,
round
it's
and
still on,
watch.
please.
Watch
Take
the
off the
magic
third channel,
pumpkin.
the third channel, it's still running.
Watch.
Stop it, please, for God's sake, please stop it. There's no more time. You've got to, please, stop it now, turn it off. Turn it off. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Thanks for listening to the Retro Resurgence Podcast. You can find us on most major podcast platforms, including Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also find and engage with us on social media at the following: on Instagram at the Retro Resurgence, on X at Retro Resurgence. You can also reach out to us on our email, which is theretroresurgence@gmail.com. And you can also find us at our website, www.theretroresurgence.com. And lastly, you can also find us online at our flagship, the Retro Network, at www.theretronetwork.com, where you'll find lots of great retro and nostalgic content. Leave us a rate and review wherever you listen to podcasts. Join us again in 2 weeks here on the Retro Resurgence Podcast.
And that wraps up another episode of the Retro Resurgence Podcast. We're so grateful you joined us today and took a trip down memory lane with us, and we can't wait to bring you more retro goodness in our next episode. Until then, keep embracing the past, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for listening.
This has been a presentation of the Retro Network.